Wake me up inside. I can't wake up. Wake me up inside. Save me. Call my name and save me from the dark. Wake me up with my blood to run. I can't wake up before I come undone. Save me. Save me from the nothing I've become.
Hey guys, it's Bloody Jack from the Bloody Jack channel. If you like this video before the intro, I'll be your best mate. So let's start the music.
Your path to be. We're all here just for all the fun. Now you're jamming hard, yeah. Hype it up all once again. Hype it up.
As you can see, this ain't our usual backdrop for what I do for my normal videos. That's because I am downstairs looking after this idiot. This is my Doge. Riley, come on. That's it. Good boy. So yeah, this is my little Doge. Riley!
Oh, somebody kill me, please!
As you can tell, he clearly doesn't want to do this any more than I do. But yeah, this is our next part in the series. Part 81 to 90 of the top 100 video games of all time. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Kicking off this list is Area 51, which came out on the PS2 and on the original Xbox in 2005. There's a few celebrity voice actors in the game. David Duchovny, who you may know as Mulder from The X-Files, and Marilyn Manson. He's on the move. But yeah. The whole game is you are a military operative exploring Area 51. It's a first-person shooter horror action game where you encounter loads of weird crap with the conspiracy theory of the actual facility itself, Area 51. It's a fun... Hey! Stop it. Hey! Pack it in. Stop. But yeah, it's a fun game to play on your own, even better when you play with other people. With the fact that it came out on Xbox One, not Xbox One, the original Xbox and the PS2, with the PS2 version it has online gameplay, online multiplayer, same with the original Xbox. It was one of the first few games on the original Xbox outside of Halo and a few other self-titled games on the Xbox that utilizes the use of Xbox Live, whereas on the PS2 you got to use the System Link part of the PlayStation. But in my honest opinion, it's a fantastic game, easy way to kill time, and if you're looking for something out of the ordinary, go for it. Next we have The Thing, which came out in 2002 on the Xbox, PlayStation and PC. Well, the Xbox original, PS2 and the PC. It takes place after the 1982 movie, John Carpenter's The Thing, where you are sent to the same facility where, can't remember his name, Kurt Russell's character was, where the last Thing attack actually happened. It's considered canon to the series, aside from the 1982 movie, the 2011 prequel, and the comics. It's a third-person horror game, well, survival horror. You get to explore basically the whole facility after it exploded. It's challenging at times, the controls are kinda but it's a great movie tie-in game. And the fact that it was going to be the basis for the 2011 prequel, but that didn't happen, but the game did very successfully. It did very, very well. If you haven't seen the original John Carpenter movie, I would recommend you guys check that out before you actually play the game. Next, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2. Xenoverse 1 came out in 2014 on the Xbox 360, PS3, PC, Xbox One and PS4, whereas Xenoverse 2 came out in 2016 on the Xbox One, PS4 and PC and the Switch. The whole point of the game is you are a time patroller, you customize your own character, you can choose from any races in the Dragon Ball universe between a human, a Saiyan, Namekian, and a part of the Buu race and the Frieza race. The whole plot of the game is you're a time patroller and you gotta go through all the certain parts of history within the Dragon Ball universe. In Xenoverse 1, you go all the way from the start of Dragon Ball Z, where Goku and Piccolo first fight Raditz, all the way to the fight against Kid Buu in the Kai world. Basically some things go down in Xenoverse 1, like turns out some enemies are starting to get more powerful over some mysterious force from the Demon Realm, who happen to be two characters, Mira and Toa, who are only made for the games and were not actually included in any part of the Dragon Ball shows or movies. But you can play as other characters within the show, and with some pretty good DLCs here and there in both games. In Xenoverse 2, you're basically doing the same thing, but it goes more in depth, and you can fight fight against more characters, such as you start from the first fight against Raditz all the way to again fighting Majin Buu. But you do fight some non-canon characters in between. Like you can fight the original Broly, Janemba, Lord Slug, Turles, Cooler, all characters which are now unfortunately non-canon. Would I recommend you get the game? Most definitely. Any specific versions of the game? Not really, because the games themselves, irregardless of what console you're playing them on, are actually really, really good. But yeah, moving forwards ahead, Transformers Devastation, which came out on the Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4 and PC. Based around the original generation of Transformers, so Gen 1 if you're a fan of the Transformers series, which I know a lot of people are. You can play a various amount of characters from the Gen 1 series. You can play as Optimus, Bumblebee, Ratchet, Sideswipe, and Grimlock. You basically gotta try and defeat the Decepticons, who are basically trying to destroy Earth, as you would guess. It is a very fantastic game here, and it's got minor flaws, but it's mostly just a third-person action platformer with a lot of hack and slash elements. It's got great boss fights, great mechanics, great soundtrack, and great character design because it's all based on the original style of the Transformers, and the fact that they managed to get most of the original voice actors from the OG series to come back. If you're a huge Transformers fan, I would highly recommend you guys get it. Next, Spawn Armageddon, which came out on the PS2, Xbox Original and the GameCube, and I believe on the PC. Based on the infamous comic book series from Image Comics, designed by Todd McFarlane, you play as Spawn, who originally was Al Simmons, who was a part of the CIA, who was supposed to do one last job before getting stabbed in the back by his boss Jason Wynn. The whole plot of the game is you're basically playing through the plot of the main comic book series, but also with a slight combination of the HBO animated series as well. It's a really good gameplay. You can interact with loads of characters from the Spawn comics, like the Violator, Chapel, and loads of other characters in the game. Yeah. Basically, You play through the plot of all the early Spawn comics. It is really good. You got a great soundtrack and plus one of the best songs by Marilyn Manson, Use Your Fist and Not Your Mouth. It's a great game. I would highly recommend you guys play it. And if you want to, you even have split screen local multiplayer, third person action platforming deathmatch. Fan-fucking-tastic. Further on, Silent Hill 2, which came out in 2001 on the PS2. It's the second installment on the Silent Hill franchise, obviously, but I guarantee if you have look up someone on YouTube and what their favourite video games of all time, a Silent Hill game, like one of the early Silent Hill games, would be finding their way on the list. But yeah, I chose Silent Hill 2 because it's actually the first Silent Hill game I actually played. Everyone knows about the Silent Hill games. If you're not that familiar with it, it's basically just it's kind of like Resident Evil, but more on a paranormal aspect. And also, I believe it was made by Hideo Kojima, the same person that made the Metal Gear Solid series. But yeah, would I recommend you guys play Silent Hill 2? Most definitely, but I wouldn't recommend you guys play the HD re-release of them, because those versions of the game don't really tend to be very good. And also, we're still waiting for Silent Hills to be made. Next, we have Pepsi Man, which came out in 1999 and on the PS1, but it released exclusively in Japan. Now, who is Pepsi Man, you may ask? Pepsi Man is the Japanese mascot for Pepsi. He started as he was basically starred in a few commercials or adverts in Japan, but through memes and loads of other random crap, he somehow managed to gain loads of popularity over the years. Even to the point where I actually ended up buying a Pepsi Man costume myself for a meme. But yeah, the whole plot of the game is basically you play as Pepsi Man, and it's kind of like Jungle Run mixed with Subway Surfers. And the whole point of the game is you got to collect Pepsi cans throughout the whole game to get to the vending machines. You can probably find a second-hand copy of it on eBay or Amazon for, I want to say, a fair price, but also a kind of a steep price as well, considering it was a Japan exclusive. If you don't want to play the Pepsi Man games, you can easily emulate it on anything else. Or just watch the commercials. There's even a Pepsi Man comic book series, I believe, that exists. But yeah, try and find some Pepsi Man stuff to soothe your nips. And also, it's a commonly known fact that Pepsi's better than Coke. Moving forwards, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, more specifically the remake which came out this year in 2020 back in early March, which came out on the Nintendo Switch, but I believe you can buy the original version of Link's Awakening on the Nintendo eStore, I believe. I'm not quite sure because the original came out on the Game Boy. But yeah, the plot of the game is you play as Link, as you do in every Legend of Zelda game, but you're stuck on this island, and you got to try and awaken this giant egg on a mountain by collecting all of the instruments of the Windfish. With the help of a girl who possibly is the best character in the game, you got to explore through the dungeons, collecting all the items, defeating all the bosses, and collecting rupees, and just trying to have fun. There's loads of great Easter eggs in the game linking to other Nintendo games, like you got the Chomps, you got the Chain Chomps from the Legend of Zelda games, not Legend of Zelda, from the Super Mario games, and you also got like Yoshi plushes and a Kirby plush here and there. Yeah, a few good Easter eggs here and there, great gameplay, great soundtrack, possibly my favourite soundtrack to any Legend of Zelda game out there, other than Wind Waker. You can pick the game up for a pretty decent price now. But yeah, if you're a fan of the Legend of Zelda series, or you want something more to play on the Nintendo Switch, I would highly recommend you guys try and find a copy of that. Next, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge, which came out in 2004 on the original Xbox, PS2, and the GameCube, I think. Made by Capcom, and is connected to a Nightmare Before Christmas trilogy. You got the Game Boy game, which came out the same year, but it's a prequel to the movie. Then you have the Tim Burton classic that everyone knows and loves. Then you got this game, Oogie's Revenge, developed by Capcom. It takes place a year after the original movie, where you play as Jack Skellington, who wants to do the same thing we did in the movie. He wants to try and make Halloween a bit better. So he goes to Dr. Finkelstein to obtain the Soul Robber, which is just a piece of like slime attached to Jack's arm, which is the main weapon of the game. The gameplay style is very similar to that of the early Devil May Cry games. So fixed camera angles, third action, like hack and slash gameplay. So it's like Ninja Gaiden and Devil May Cry slapped together. You can unlock other costumes for Jack, which lead to you having other abilities, like Christmas Jack, where you can throw explosive toys, and like Pumpkin King Jack, where he just throws like flaming jack-o'-lanterns at monsters. You fight evil skeletons, ghosts, like loads of other Halloween monsters. You can interact with other classic Nightmare Before Christmas characters like Sally, the Zombie Kid, the Mayor, Dr. Hyde, well, Mr. Hyde, the vampires, the Hanging Tree, and so on. But the plot of the game is Oogie Boogie, the main villain from the movie, has risen, thanks to Lock, Shock and Barrel, and it's down to Jack to stop Oogie Boogie from taking over all 7 holidays. So you gotta travel to the different holiday worlds to stop Oogie Boogie from taking them over. So you gotta go through Easter, St. Patrick's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, Valentine's Day, Bonfire Night, everything. It's probably one of my favourite games I've ever played by Capcom. But yeah, same voice actors from the movie. Well, I say same voice actors from the movie. The only one they couldn't get is the guy that plays Jack Skellington in the movie, but instead they got Danny Elfman, who composed the soundtrack and also played the singing voice for Jack Skellington in the movie. The game is a musical, just like the movies, but unfortunately, it's the same songs from the movie, but with different lyrics. There's only one original song in the game, which is the song where you fight Dr. Finkelstein, and that's about it when it comes to original songs. But do I think highly of this game? Yes. If you're a Tim Burton fan, definitely get it. If you're a fan of The Nightmare Before Christmas, definitely give this game a chance. You can get it anywhere really, second-hand copy. It is backwards compatible on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation, so you'll have no problem trying to get it. Next, another movie tie-in game, X-Men Origins Wolverine, which came out in 2009 on the Xbox 360, PS3 and PC and the Wii. Yeah, it came out the same year as the piece of shit movie that is X-Men Origins Wolverine. I gotta say, the game, although copies the plot of the movie, the game is like 10 times way much better than what the movie should have been. So you play as Wolverine, voiced by Hugh Jackman, and you try and stop Sabretooth from basically kidnapping other mutants for the Weapon X program to create the Deadpool. But it's not the true Deadpool, basically fake Deadpool. It's a third-person action platforming hack and slash, so it's like very heavy on like Ninja Gaiden gameplay. If you're a fan of like Marvel Comics or just X-Men in general, definitely get this game whenever you have the chance. I don't want to spoil anything of the game, but if you've seen the movie, you basically know the plot of the game, irregardless. So anyway, that was 81 to 90 on my top 100 favorite video games of all time. I hope you liked it. Like, comment, subscribe, share on your social media if you have to. Hit that notifications bell and the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.